Hello and welcome. This is a short overview of the upcoming Hivescam Ganger class. We will talk about class in general, weapons and talents. In short, Hive Ganger is a glass cannon. In and out, fragile, but with high damage output. Think Zealot, less tanky, but with much higher DPS. To take full advantage of the class, you'll need to rely on your game senses and play around your teammates, because on your own, you are a papier-mâché and will die quickly. Two things to note. Ganger has a chem damage over time mechanic, which is similar to Zealot's bleed/fire. Second are the stims, of course, which are heavily integrated into the class. And you can make your own cocktail. Stimm Lab is another new mechanic to the Hivescam. You get 30 points to spend however you want. There are 4 branches, as you can see. So the top left one is about toughness and damage reduction. The top right one is about strength, damage, finesse. Rending a little bit here. Critical strike here. So damage branch. The bottom left is attack speed, stamina cost. Anything stamina related basically. And the bottom right one is about cooldown regeneration. You get 30 points, as I said earlier, to spend however you want. However, you can only max out 2 or spend the rest how you want. For example, or you can min-max, you can change up a little bit, like this. It's kind of your own mixture, your own cocktail, as I say. If you don't commit any points into the Stimm Lab, you don't press anything, you can still pick up and use any potions that you want, see? Normally, like everybody else, right? But the moment you spend any amount of points, just one of the nodes, it will replace your Steam with a special cocktail. See right there. And you cannot hold it. The moment you press the button, well, for me it's 4, it will automatically use it as well, see? And it will apply whatever you picked here. For the duration, whatever you picked here will be applied to you. For the talents, I will go down and read each one of them and explain what they do, or at least what I think they do, because some of the explanation is not very clear and it doesn't exactly represent what talent does, but stay with me. As you guys figured out by now, there are 3 branches, right? Obviously, there's the range branch, there is the melee branch, and there is a Steam Chem buffs support / branch right here. In your face, plus 25 range damage against targets within 12.5 meters, scaling down to a minimum plus 10 at 30 meters and beyond. This is pretty much something in between veteran range talents and zealots. So when you play Hivescam, you gotta be between somewhere a backline and your frontline. You're not exactly frontline because you're too fragile, and you're not exactly backline because a lot of your talents rely on that being up close. This is for every range build. You're probably gonna have to take this one, because I do. Be good. Sticky hands. Plus 40 weapon swap speed. Also gain minus 10 recoil and minus 30 spread while firing from the hippo breast. It's pretty much mandatory if you play range. Really good talent, works very well. A tertium welcome, plus 15 melee damage on first enemy hit with each attack. This is pretty much the same talent as the Arbites one, the one in the middle at the bottom. Voice of tertium, replenish 8 toughness on range kill, elites and special, instead replenish 15 toughness. Again, this is for your range build, mandatory, really good, works very well, allows you to stay alive for way longer than you should. Precision violence, melee hits replenish 4 toughness, melee critical strikes and weak spot hits instead replenish 8, critical weak spot replenish 12. This is for your melee builds. Anything that is you play not in range or less in range, this is must. If you're gonna spend time in melee, you have to pick this. It's really good. It's almost a mandatory. Speed loader, 30% reload speed for 8 seconds on close range kill. Again, any gun build, you play this. You have to take this. You have to reload, especially on the weapons that are slower weapons or like a single shot weapons, like maybe like shotguns and stuff like that. It's really good. Moving target, gain 1 effective dodges while wielding your ranged weapon. Self-explanatory. Again, you will rely a lot on dodges because you're fragile and you need to dodge. Float like a butterfly. Perfect blocks on a successful dodges grant 20 critical chance for 3 seconds. This used to be 2 seconds, so it wasn't worth taking, but now it's pretty good. It's basically one of the blessings on a dueling sword / knives. Repost, I think. I don't remember the name. Comment below, tell me if I'm wrong. Calling for the timeout. Minus 20% damage, toughness damage taken while reloading in 4 seconds after they buffed this. This used to be 3 seconds. They buffed it to 4. Really good actually now. Really, really good. Again, for your gun build. 25 toughness. Untouchable. Sprinting for 1 second grants minus 12.5 threat for 3 seconds taken for time. So basically this is will allow you to run towards the gunners and or just kind of force yourself into melee without getting noticed. What I mean by that, it's enemies will take longer time to notice to shoot at you. I know it's self-explanatory, but in case I mention it. The Blitz roll. There are 3, just like the God Emperor intended. Blackout. Quick to use grenade that staggers enemies. Every 20 kills at close range generates 1 grenade. A close range can be melee kills or range kill, it doesn't really matter, so you can max 5 grenades. I'll show you what it does. It does like a little, quite a stagger actually. And the cool thing about all the Blitz in general, especially these grenades, if you have this talent, well, gonna get ahead of myself a little bit, called Pocket Toxin, will also apply poison chem toxin. This is one of those very quick type of self-regenerating in a way blitzes. You have to kill basically, and you'll kill a lot because this class DPS is a lot. I really like this one. Next one. Everyone's favorite Boom Bringer. Big rocket launcher. Does a lot of damage. Again, will work with the Pocket Toxin. This is what it does. Really cool. It's a big nuke. I don't have any mods here, so I don't know how much damage it does to the bosses. From before that I tested, it does around a quarter of a damage to them. A little bit less, maybe a fifth, probably more now. It's kind of like a solution for big enemies. And the last Blitz is a chem grenade. Thrown grenade contains chem toxin. The canister breaks open and contains spills out across the area when it explodes. It's quite visible. I really like how they affected it to it. It's not like super effective against carapaces, obviously, but against pretty much anything else, it's a great area of type of denial, choke, fire, how you want to call it, fire grenade. Also, it will, I think it will add extra toxins if you select this point right here. but I don't think it's super necessary when you play with a chem grenade. I think this point can be spent elsewhere. If you have a chem grenade, you can take it, put it somewhere else. It still does an extra 3 stacks, but it's not like super necessary. It's up to you to decide. The pre-aura talent pack row. Gang tough. 10 range damage and 10 toughness damage reduction. Pretty good. Regain posture. 10 stamina on a successful dodge. Nimble. Dodges are extended by 25 and time considered dodging by 50. This is really strong, especially on the melee builds. This is really strong. Slippery customer. While sliding, gain melee attack immunity. I have tried this one and I didn't see much difference in melee because I feel like dodging does pretty similar. This requires more testing. I really don't rely on sliding in melee that much, but I'm sure there's some kind of build and people will figure it out. Maybe there's some kind of abuse people can do. We'll see how it does. Like the wind. Plus 15 sprint dodge angle. In addition, sprint dodge is available even when stamina deplete. I really didn't understand the whole second part. In addition, sprint dodge available even when stamina deplete. I didn't really understood this. I didn't felt like it made any difference to me. Same with the sprint dodge angle. I didn't feel an impact, but somebody in a comment, somebody explained this to me, somebody who played it maybe in a test server with me. I didn't really understood this, and I didn't felt like it made any difference. I could be wrong, so I'm not really sure about what exactly that it does. G3. Plus 40 dodge recovery speed, while at stamina is above 75. Self-explanatory, so if you time your dodges and you're not just spamming them, you can get basically more dodges. So if you're methodical and not just like spamming your dodge button, this is really strong. Cheap shots. Plus 15 damage against enemies that are fully staggered. So basically if you put somebody on the ground, right, you'll do more damage to them. I don't feel like this is a super necessary talent because this can be spent elsewhere since it's kind of on the side and it's not like you don't have to go through to get it. Hive Ganger Auras. All of them are really, really, really good. Gunslinger improved. When ammo picked up is collected by you or your allies in coherency, you each replenish ammo equal of 10% of the pickup. So basically, if you pick up 10 bullets and your body will get, each one of them, your friends get 1. If one of your buddies pick up 10 bullets, each of you get 1. It's pretty clear. It works well in Auric, and I think it will make a big difference in Havoc as well. From what we've played, it was pretty impactful. Not like super necessary if you have a veteran on the team, but if you don't, it could be good. And if you have veteran and you have this aura, that could be you can actually lean towards making like more range, more bullet based guns like auto guns and stuff like that. We'll see how the meta will shift and improve in real life like environment instead of like testing stuff. Ruffian, a melee damage for you and your allies, pretty straightforward, really good. If you have a melee group, so something like Ogrin with his own aura, yours, even maybe Arbites with a stagger aura and 10% extra, that could be a lot. That's like 30% total. So again, I would find it slightly weaker within this aura. Anarchist, 5 crit chance for you and allies, which is pretty much the same one is the Psyker has, but it does buff Psyker a lot and buffs everybody else because everyone will benefit from 5 crit chance, everybody. While melee is more like specific for melee groups, right? Again, I think the strongest one is Gunslinger one because bullets, you always need bullets, but those two are no slouch. They're also very good. I really like this role. All of them are useful and good job. A small pre-main abilities row. Long lasting, plus 5 seconds steam duration. Again, pretty obvious. If you play anything on over here somewhere, plus your own like Stimm Lab cocktail, if you especially have the Stimm Lab cocktail, it can be something beneficial to you if you go through the mill, because you do have to go through the mill to get it. You go on the right side, you'll have to. So if you're gonna think about getting this, you gotta get the toughness one. So again, if you play something like the Steam Supply, or I'll get into all of this in a second, or the melee one, it could be very it could be beneficial to you. Blessed Steams. While steamed, clears 1% corruption up to 50% per steam. So my friends swear by it, and they say it can clear out the wound. I need a further testing, because every time we do a map, we just don't die, or die all of a sudden. So especially in Havoc is something different. But I think if you're a good player, you don't really need this. I think if you're maybe new, or maybe just want to relax, don't really care about it, it could be beneficial to you. So try it out for yourself, see what you like. Enhanced Desperado. Swaps to and reloads your ranged weapon, entering Enhanced Desperado for 10 seconds. For the duration, you become impossible to hit by range attacks, important to know by the way. And sprinting costs no stamina, as well as gaining 20% sprint speed. While the ability is active, reloading your weapon does not reduce your ammo reserve. So basically what it means, you don't, as long as this ability is active, you do not consume ammo. That's what it means. It's kind of weirdly written. A lot of stuff in this game is weirdly, sweet English, very weirdly written. Understandable, but hard to understand sometimes. Additionally, the enemies with close range become highlighted. Killing highlighted enemies with your ranged weapon extends the duration by 1 second. After 20 seconds, the extended becomes diminished. Base cooldown to 45 seconds. So we got 2 modifiers for this. Pick your target. Gain 15% rending for your range attacks while Enhanced Desperado is active. Additionally, killing highlighted enemies also grants +3 range damage, stacking 5 times. Focused Resolve. Killing highlighted enemies restores 0.5 ability cooldown. Elites and Specialists instead restore 1 second, 5 seconds mass cooldown restored. Desperado is really strong on the weapons that has a lot of bullets and high fire rate. So something like the new auto pistols, or even Rax autogun, even a bunch of other ones. You can use it with, as long as it has a lot of fire rate and a lot of bullets. The bigger the mag, the higher fire rate, the better. So as long as you are killing the blue guys, the highlighted ones, you will replenish your ultimate and last basically longer. That's what she said. See how it comes back? It has a limit timing on it, but as long as you shoot and kill the blue ones. And remember, you do not consume ammo, so you can reload and shoot as much as you want. During the ult, you do not consume ammo. This is really strong on Havoc. Once your ult comes down, what I would do, I would build towards the cooldown regeneration here. Either from clay, or just put it here if you don't want to bother with anything. What you want to do, you use it, you wait for your cooldown to come back. You're probably going to be shooting, doing stuff, it doesn't really matter. You're not going to notice it. Right? This works well with Vrax as well. I've tested them all, and this is really good on Vrax as well. I really like this build. This is probably gonna be my go-to in Havoc, but I'm gonna show you the melee build next. And yes, of course, you can run and gun while being on Desperado. Rampage. I think this is what most people will go for. Let's read the description. Enter Rampage for 10 seconds. For the duration, gain 50 melee power. Remember, power in this game is damage, stagger, and cleave. All in one, kind of. It's a weird stat, but it's good usually to have. 20 attack speed and 25 damage reduction, as well as becoming stun and suppression immune. Really, really, really strong. Melee strike extended duration by 0.3 seconds. After 20 seconds, the extended becomes diminished, so keep in mind that. Upon exiting Rampage, you become exhausted for 7 seconds, gaining 25 damage taken and minus 75% stamina regeneration speed for the duration. So you have to keep that in mind. If you don't pay attention, you can actually die really fast, because 25% damage taken, it's quite a lot. Plus minus stamina regeneration, it's quite a hit. So keep that in mind. You'll get used to it eventually, I think. Modifiers are channeled aggression. Heavy attacks gain 25 rending while duration of the rampage remains above 50%. I think what it means is, like, as long as you're the first half of the your duration, basically. It never understood while duration remains above 50%. Doesn't make sense to me. It's weird English, weird way to write it, but that's what I think it is. For the first half, you do more rending damage. If you use any weapon, they do heavy attacks, it's really good. But I've noticed anything that is like light spam, it's kind of worthless. So it's up to you, depends on your playstyle. Boiling Blood. Melee strikes against elite and monstrosities extend the duration of the rampage by 1 second. Additionally, the time before extending become diminished is now 30 seconds. So instead of 20 seconds, you get to 30 seconds. So basically you get 10 extra seconds of not being exhausted. Exhausted means taking more damage. You're basically tired. You tire yourself. Really good talent, in my opinion. Pulverizing Strikes. Plus 50 cleave while Rampage is active. Additionally, gain 2.5 melee power for every second spent with an ability up to 10 times. I think this is one of those, I wouldn't say must have, but it's good to have, because when you're going to use Rampage, you usually want to be in the midst of it, right? But then again, depends how you play as a person, because there is another cleave talent right here. Battering Strikes, we'll come down to it later. Melee is grant 10% cleave time. So those two are interchangeable, so it's up to you. So if you want to only have 1 point to spend, you can kind of decide for yourself. Forge Below. When Rampage is activated, unleash a powerful shout that staggers enemies, increases the time between their attacks by 50% for 5 seconds. This one is a bit weird, because on one hand, it's strong, because slower their attacks, the less chances of you dying to their attacks. But also, if you stagger them enough, it's kind of redundant in a way. So it's up to you to decide what is important to you. I think most people, again, will go for this one, because the damage reduction on this is pretty insane. But keep the exhaustion in mind. This is how the Rampage works. As long as you keep hitting, especially the elites, you keep extending the duration, so you can stay in the Rampage stage for quite a while, actually. And doing shit on a lot of damage. Now, can you imagine in a real fight, you're obviously not going to have elites at your disposal 24/7. There's going to be a bunch of other stuff happening. Once it ends, once the Rampage ends, you can hear the heartbeat. At the bottom left, there's a little debuff when it ends. There we go. So that's the exhaustion. Really strong, really cool, really fun. Steam Supply. This is a group ability. Place a refitted medic crate on the ground, bolstering you and your allies. Operative breathing decreates gas, heal up to 40 corruption over time and becoming immune to it. This is kind of like field improv, but it's like an alternative to a field improv. But that's not the strongest thing about this thing. Additionally, if you have a Stimm equipped, Stimm Supply will copy its content and disperse them into the air, granting its effect to nearby allies. Cooldown 60 seconds. So this is what is strong about this. If you have a either a normal Stimm that you picked up, or you have a custom Stimm Lab cocktail, it will apply those buffs to your allies as long as they're like standing in it. And then you have this fast-acting Stimms. The duration of Stimm nearby of Stimm Supply is shortened to 5 seconds, but effects linger after leaving the area for 15 seconds. So this is what it's strong, right? So when you drop it, all they had to do was just walk in and they get the buff to whatever cocktail / Stimm you have. This is really, I think this is one that's mandatory, I think, because nobody's going to stand in your Stimm for too long. Again, but it depends on your team. Plus, it gives them freedom and to yourself to move around. You're not like bogged down to stand on a Stimm. Bloody Trap. Once its duration ends, Stimm supplies explode, affecting nearby enemies. 7 stacks of Chem Toxin. I think this is not bad at all. And if you're gonna pick this, you have to kind of pick this because you want it to last less, so it can blow up faster. I'm not super convinced about this one, but some people might enjoy it. Practiced deployment. Once Stimm becomes available to use, collect it to otherwise. Otherwise, it means your own cocktail. It replenishes over time, or by you doing certain actions, like this one, for example, sample collector. You gain another stack of Stimm supply. So basically, you can reuse your ability. Now, this one is a little bit finicky. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Maybe it's a bug. Maybe I missed something. I need further testing. But sometimes it's fun just to get 2 Medicaid one after another. An important note about the Stimm supply is that if you do have this talent over here, you basically drop your ult just to give buffs to everybody. And they have kind of like 5 seconds to walk into it to get their own buff from your Stimm Lab cocktail. Depends what you have here, like defense, you can get attack speed, you can get cooldown regeneration. They will get those buffs from your cocktail, by the way. Also, it is important to note that with practice deployment, you basically, if you take this talent, you will have to farm your cocktail, your potion, your whatever, right? It works well with coated weaponry and sample collector, because every single time you're gonna kill a chem inflicted enemy, it's gonna shed 2 seconds of your cooldown. And the more cocktails you farm, the faster you'll get your supply ultimate back. Because every time you get it back, you also get your ult back. And it's kind of like a race between, do you get your ult faster or do you get your cocktail faster, type of thing. See, I'm gonna get my cocktail and my ult's gonna get reset. Boom, see again. Because every time you use your ult, it also uses your cocktail. Right there. It doesn't last very long with this talent, but it does apply a stack for 15 seconds for everybody, which is pretty good. It's really good. Because, again, you can make defensive cocktail, you can make offensive, defensive, cooldown. Really good, really good. Try it out for yourself. Tell me what you think. The last 3 branches. Let's start on the left with the shooty one. 5 critical chance, always good. Ammo jacked, 15 clip size, run it up. Again, it works very well on weapons that have big mags. Anything with a lot of bullets works very well. It's the same one as Arbeitis one. Quick and deadly, 15 close range damage for 3 seconds out of successful dodge. Kind of works the same way as the float like a butterfly. Good on range because you're going to be dodging a lot. Swift endurance, +2 increased melee attack speed for each current stamina. This one requires a little bit more investigation. So how it works, it will take whatever stamina is available on your weapon first. Like for example, on this weapon, if you inspect it, it has 4.5 stamina. Now something like the new Daggers, which I go to the weapon a little bit later, has only 1 stamina. So pay attention. If I equipped it, right here, it has 4. That's the by default you can get, right? That's 4, bottom right. You see that? 4. So 4 stacks, that will be 8 extra attack speed, 8% attack speed. Now if I equip something like this, give me 7, because this weapon has more inbuilt stamina. Also, on top of that, if you have stamina trinkets, they will also increase your attack speed. So here I have 3 stamina, 3 stamina, 3 stamina. So that's 16 stacks right there. Again, let's do without it and with it. No stamina, nothing. No ability at all. This is a default without any buffs, any talents, right? This with default ones on a dagger. So you get 4, well, you get 4 by default right there. And with all the possible stacks right here, with the daggers that have the minimum of stamina, you get 13. So that's 15 attack speed. Well, a little bit more than it would be 25. I don't feel big difference, but it can be good for people who like it. It's to experiment. The only downside, if you use 3 stamina trinkets, you will give up a lot of toughness. So it's up to you to manage how you want it. Now, pickpocket. Killing an elite special enemy while ammo reserve is below 20% will fill it back to 20. This one is a bit weird because I didn't feel like I needed that one when I was playing the gun build. Because it didn't feel like it was refilling anything, I'll be honest with you. Maybe it's a bug, maybe I didn't notice. I personally didn't feel like it was doing anything. Hypercritical. Critical strikes instantly kill human-sized enemies if their current health is less than 2 times the amount of damage on the critical strike. So, what this does, if you ever played Grail Knight in Vermintide, it will basically, if you do, let's say they have 10 HP, right? And you do 5 to them, 5 damage. In the next crit, will do 7. 7 is bigger than half of their 5 HP left. You'll basically one-shot him with 1 attack instead of going like 5, 3, 3, etc, etc. It's very good against smaller enemies. I'm not sure about the big ones. Maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't feel like I need that one. It's still good with anything that crits a lot. So like daggers on small chaff is really good. And if you have daggers that with something like Uncanny Strike could be really good as well, because it can crit for big damage. I personally never felt like I needed this one, but I can change my mind in the future when I have to try it out like for a couple of weeks to see how it performs. The sweet spot, again, self-explanatory. In a prior patch, it used to be 12 or 15, I don't remember, but they buffed it to 25. And I believe this works on range damage. So, quick note, if you're going to use this in Desperado, on the dual Beretta Uzis auto pistols, it's not like super important to have it, but something like infantry autogun, something more precision, which is easy to aim with, it could be more interesting. But in general, it's just a good talent to have. Going down, unload. Reloading your ranged weapon grants 2 range damage for 7 seconds. each of 10 magazines spent during relation. So this is kind of weird because it will benefit anything that reloads a lot, like a shotgun maybe. Anything with a small clip you're gonna reload a lot, but it also benefits the weapon that you have a lot of bullets because you keep gaining. It's kind of like Blaze Away, but a talent. It's no brainer to take. It's a good talent for ranged DPS. Ramping backstabs, repeated backstab on a target is powered by 10%. Plus which stack up to 5 times. Pretty. It's a weird place to put this talent because it's a melee talent. And I assume they want you to kind of go with these two together. So idea is that you crit, big backstab, one shot, kind of like a shade if you think about it. Tell me what you guys think. I'll have to experiment with this more. When I tried him, I didn't felt like I needed it. But I could be wrong in Havoc because in Havoc, who knows. Vulture's Mark. Now this is the purple talents. Killing a special or elite enemy with a ranged weapon grants you a stack of Vulture Mark for 8 seconds, stacked 3 times. Each stack grants 5 damage, 5 range damage, 5 range critical strike chance, and 5 movement speed. While at max stack, special and elite range kills restore 15 toughness to your and your allies in coherency. So this is kind of like execution stance combined with enhanced Desperado. Those two, you kind of have to have them both because this is the. I don't see this branch being used with anything else. Those two can be kind of interchanged with Stimm Supply and Rampage, but this one is really locked to this one. I like it. It works well. My Desperado build, really like it. Going down, Vulture's Push, killing elite on special. Enemy with range attack knocks all enemies around you backwards. I don't know how I feel about this because I didn't feel like I needed it. Because when you range guy shooting, you shouldn't be surrounded by enemies in the first place. But I could be wrong. As in, depends on the map, I guess. Depends on the comp. Vulture's Dodge. Range critical strikes grant immunity to all attacks with 1 second. I think once you have this kind of not super important. Because if you have a high fire rate weapon, you don't. And you crit, you will crit a lot because you get 5 crit here, you get 5 crit here, you get 5 critical chance here, and if you use your Stimm, right, during that, you'll get extra critical strike over here, right there. And it's all accumulative, by the way. So it's like 4, 4, 4, plus 4, 5 crit, so that's 15 crit chance right there as well. So I really like this, and again, Patient Hunter, duration of Vulture extended 12 seconds, so it's easier to stack basically. I really like this branch with Desperado. They obviously were made to go together. The melee branch, the middle one, first node, melee damage boost, 10 melee, always good. 15 punching above one's weight, 15 damage to against elite and monstrosities. They kind of put those two talents together. Like a lot of classes, they have like 15 damage against elite, 20% against monstrosities. They kind of put those two together. Really strong. Tis but a scratch. Replenish 30 toughness over 3 seconds after taking range toughness damage. Losing all toughness cancels the effect. So this one, they used to be over 6 or 5 seconds. I remember they buffed it. And they kind of nerfed it. They made it smaller. So it used to be like 50% after 6 seconds, over 6 seconds. But they reduced the amount, but also reduced the thresholds to 3 seconds. It's actually better this way because it allows you more flexibility. Burst of energy. Gain stun immunity for 6 seconds and restore 50 toughness. 50% toughness. When toughness is broken, 10 seconds cooldown. So you have a window of downtime for 4 seconds basically. Again, good one. Not necessary. I don't think it's necessary. If you have 2 brain cells, your toughness broken, you shouldn't get to those positions. It shouldn't be that thing. You should be able to see the damage coming, right? But it's good to have. Battering strikes. Melee kills grants 10 melee cleave for 5 seconds, stacks 5 times. We talked about this earlier. Good talents overall. Depends on the weapon, depends on your playstyle, depends what you have, but it's good. It stacks well, it works well. Hypervalence. Kills grant 25% difference between the damage dealt by your attacks and the health of the killed enemy as melee damage for 1 second. So they nerfed this one. It used to be 3 seconds and it used to be broken in yesterday, because what you could do is to kill something really fast, like one-shot it, and then collect all that 25 stackable damage and practically one-shot a boss. Obviously, it doesn't work anymore because they reduced it to 1 second. And what it means, I think, what it implies that if you use like something like a too heavy-handed weapon, whatever you kill first, the extra damage will overlap to the next target in that swing. That's how I imagine at least how it would work, because 1 second is not enough, not long enough. Hive City Brawler. Up to 20% damage reduction depending on available stamina. So if you don't consume stamina, you gain 20% damage reduction. If you don't push, you don't whatever, you just swing, left click, whatever. Additionally, up to 20 melee damage depending on stamina spent. Now, if you spend stamina, you get melee damage increase. So it's kind of like back and forth, back and forth. It's an interesting talent, and I think most build will benefit from it because it's not melee related per se. Because if you shoot a lot with Desperado, you will still get that 20% damage reduction because you don't consume stamina while shooting. Battering Momentum. Hitting 3 or more enemies grants you with a single attack grants 50% cleave for your next attack. It's very simple. If you have a weapon that cleaves, very good. Up to you. Try it out. But I do think this one is a little bit more consistent. So it's kind of up to you to decide what you feel like taking. Now, the purple talents. Adrenaline Frenzy. Melee hits grant you a stack of adrenaline. Critical melee hits grant you 1 stack, additional stack. Not gaining a stack within 2 seconds will remove a stack instead. So it's kind of like you don't lose everything at once. You just lose one by one. Like it's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, and 4, 3, 2, 1. Like right. At 30 stacks, remove all the stacks, adrenaline, and gain adrenaline frenzy. Very similar to Arbiter's talents, by the way. Adrenaline frenzy grants you 10 attack speed and 25% melee damage for 10 seconds, which is very, very good. Now the modifiers. Adrenaline Assassins. Weak spot hits now grants 2 additional stacks for adrenaline. Regular melee hits grants none. So I don't know how I feel about this one because it's kind of cool, but it's kind of like it's very irregular because it depends on the weapon you use. You might not be able to hit heads all the time, but it's not bad or anything. But I wouldn't go for this one personally because I'd rather just get it normally, you know. Stoked Rage. Increase the duration of Adrenaline Frenzy to 20 seconds. I think this one is kind of like no-brainer because you just double the amount. Instead of 10, you get for 20. This is, I think it's kind of no-brainer to pick if you're gonna play this. Adrenaline Unbound. While Adrenaline Frenzy is active, you replenish 5 toughness per second. So this one again, it's up to you. Depends how you play it. Not a bad, not super mandatory. I don't think so, but it's not bad neither. Uncontrolled Aggression. Increase duration of Adrenaline to 4 seconds. So here, see, it only lasts 2, but with this, it allows you to have a bigger window to get those stacks. Adrenaline Smiter. Killing Blows now grants 4 additional stacks for Adrenaline. Elite Killing Blows 10 stacks. Non-Killing Blows grants none. Again, it's one of those two. Depends how you pick it. And they're both good, but I do feel like this one is a little bit better. If I gotta pick then, like, of all of them, or definitely those two. This one and this one for sure. This one too. I'm not super stoked about this melee tree because it's not it's bad what it is. It's the tree next to it, which is incredibly strong. The last, and in my opinion, the best branch, starting out with a potent toxins, 10% toxin strength, loose formation, plus 75 coherency radius. This will help with because with this character you gotta go in and out, especially in melee. So this will help to get the benefits from the coherency. Extra pouches, 1 Blitz extra charges. So 1 extra rocket for S, 1 extra grenade for chem grenade, 1 extra blackout nade. Coated weaponry. Melee critical strike infect enemies with 1 stacks of chem toxin. They nerfed this. This used to be just by hitting, just on melee hits, but it's fine as well. Really good. If you play anything melee, this is I think to me a must. Not super must because If you play something like Daggers, they crit a lot, you get a lot of benefit from. If you're something slower, it might not crit, or you don't need it with a, and we'll talk about the weapons later. Something like this weapon who has inbuilt chems on one that attacks, you can see the little poison there. You don't need it, but anything else will probably benefit, especially fast attacking weapons. Going down, sample collector. This one I like a lot, especially with cocktail. If you have anything cocktail related, or the Steam supply builds, because what it will do every time you kill somebody with a chem toxin, if you crit, you apply chem toxin, you will kill him, you get either 1% by default just by killing him, and if they're infected, you get extra 2. So you kill 10 enemies, that's 20%, and so on and so on and so on. Blitz, pocket toxin. Blitz explosion infect enemies with 3 stacks of chem toxin. Again, I showed it earlier, it works well with a blackout. It's not super necessary for chem grenade, and I don't think it's super necessary for the boombringer because it does so much damage. You don't really need it, but it's up to you. It still works better, I think, on chem and especially on blackout, because chem already gives you a bunch of toxin stacks, this plus 3, so it's just more damage basically, right? Going down, toxin mania, plus 5 damage for each chem toxin infected enemy nearby, up to 15%. This, I think what the intent was, is to have these two together, right? If you're gonna have these two together, it's very good, because that way, for especially for melee, you throw a blackout grenade, it'll poison everybody around you, and you can just get an extra bonus. So, but you have to make a decision, right? So if you go like this, you get a blackout grenade. So you get all this buff. That's 4 stacks, I assume. There you go. You're right there. 4 stacks. Boom. Yeah, right there, see? I think it synergizes well with something like this. Now, targeted toxin. Enemies you infect with chem toxin deal minus 15 damage. Monstrosity deals stealth minus 30. This is... I don't think it's in any group that is worth 2 cents. I don't think anything with deal with monstrosities is very important, but it can be for some people who value that thing. I don't think it's very far away here, and you have to get extras on the side here. I don't think it's super important. I don't think it's valuable to me personally. Toxic renewal. Now this one, it's kind of hard to get because you kind of have to go through either pocket toxin, and if you have a rocket launcher, you don't really need a pocket toxin, and you kind of have to go through the pocket toxin to get sample collector, if that makes sense. So you can either go like this or go like this. Again, sample collector, amazing. Now going to toxic renewal. 15 toughness when killing enemy infected with chem toxin skill melee attack. Again, simple, straightforward, allows you to survive longer. If you have any weapon that's a chems, it will work very well. It's not necessary because there is other talents you can use and replace it with, but it's good to have. Now, this is probably the best, in my opinion, the most well-rounded purple talent in a game. Chemical dependency. Using Steams grants you a stack of dependency for 90 seconds. Right? So every time you use a cocktail, pretty much you get a dependency stack. For each stack, you gain 10 ability cooldown reduction. So by default, you have 3 stacks. So that's, if you use cocktail, you get a 30% ability cooldown reduction. So you basically have more ult. And it is important to have as much Rampage, Desperado, and Steam supply as possible, because Hiveganger lives and dies by its ultimate, basically. Right? But the modifiers make it even better. Maxed out on chems. Each stack of dependency is now instead lasts 60 seconds, but stacks increase to 4. So what that means, you get an extra stack of cooldown reduction, making it up to 40%. Right? But this talent, not only that, but it reduces the dependency, so you durations. You need to use it more often. You gotta pay attention. You gotta farm your cocktails, you know, or your steams. With this, however, gives you chem enhance. Each stack of dependence additionally grants 5 critical hit chance. So by default, without this talent here, you will get 15 and max 3 stacks, right? Combined with everything else you have, right? Because the steams can also give you, if you use it, it gives you 15 chance here. while under effects, right? But with this, you get extra 5%, so that's up to 20. Chem Fortified, using a Stimm replenishes 50% toughness. Additionally, each stack of dependency grants 5 toughness damage reduction. So it's again, if you have those two or you don't, it's either 15 or 20 toughness damage reduction. Combined with this one, so that's be 30. Again, my favorite, this is my favorite like branch for melee and Stimm supply. I personally think this one could be done a little bit better, but overall the talents are really good. They did a good job. Testers did a good job, and Fatchak did a good job overall to bring a lot of talents are very interesting. They're very fun, and I think people will enjoy experimenting and building. Before I dive into the new weapons, I want to show you all the weapons that Hive Scum have access to. You got your shivs, you got a tactical. They will close the default one. Those, of course, there's 3 new ones that I will explain in a second. But I want you to see which one you have access to, right? That's the melee ones. Now the range. You got your auto pistols, double barrel shotgun, quick draw, raced, infantry, the new ones, the new guns, combat shotgun, vigilant, shredder, needle pistol, new one, and bolt pistol. Honestly, quite a selection. Now, the melee weapons. Let's start with the poster boys, or girls, or twins, whatever. Dual daggers. They look really cool. The moveset is really cool. I will show you the breakdown, inspect. You can pause it if you want. Up. The attack patterns. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. The push attack. And the cool thing about this weapon, it's its special attack. You probably have noticed at the bottom right, there is a 3, which is a throwable dagger. And when you throw it, it applies poison / chem steam, chem toxin. See? But what happens when you run out? So before, the patch before, you could get your stacks back by killing normal units. They change it to elites and specials. So every time you're gonna kill an elite, you're gonna get a 1 back. But it only works on the melee. You cannot recover daggers by killing stuff from far away like this. Yeah. It does not work. You have to kill him in melee to get the stacks back. Now there are 2 variants. The first one, the one you see right now, it's the kind of like the normal dagger. It's a more single target oriented in a way, because again the damage. And there is another mark, the second one, which again kind of like the blades. It's more of a cleave oriented one. You can see light attack is slightly heavier, heavies are slightly slower, and it has a much wider-ish swing pattern. See? So it's up to you, however you like it. They're really sweet. They have a sweet moveset, simple yet efficient. Here are all the blessings available for dual daggers. I think they're pretty much the same, or at least similar to the knife ones. You get your Flash Terror, you get your Lacerate, Executor, Repost, really good. Recognition, Aimmaker, Mercy Killer, Ruthless Backstabber, and of course Uncanny. I do think I personally like Uncanny and Flash Terror, but some people might prefer Mercy Killer and Flash Terror, or Mercy Killer and Lacerate. Up to you. Play however you want. Here are the blessings. The Bone Saw. Another cool weapon from Hive Scum. It has really simple attack patterns, but I'll show you the stats anyway, so you can see it for yourself. Three lights, 2 heavies. There's a difference between heavies. I'll show you later. The breakpoints and the damage modifiers. You can pause it to watch yourself. So the cool thing about this weapon, with this green coating, there are 2 coatings, and I'll show you how to switch between them. This one will apply Chem Toxin on whatever it hits. Okay. So it's stackable. The more you're hitting, the more they get infected. No, right? Now, if you press a special button, it will switch between Chem Toxin to this purple one that does blitterness / rending. So if you're fighting a mixed horde, it's really beneficial. Now, I don't remember if it does rending or blitterness, one of those two. So if you're fighting a horde, you switch to green. If you're fighting a mixed horde, you switch to purple. Really cool. Now, another thing to know about this weapon is there are 2 heavies, right? There's this one and there's this one. And if you notice, for some reason, the second attack does not apply the second chunk. What I mean by chunk, little crunch. If you do a heavy one, it will apply a second row of damage. A fully charged attack, see? Right here. Oh, died too fast. Right, see? Again, heavy one, second damage, see? Again, heavy one, second damage. But the heavy 2 does not. It works on both purple and green. Heavy 1, second roll of damage. Heavy 2, no damage. It's good to know. This type of weapon is good with a Rampage build, this one. Because it will increase the attack speed, it will kind of compensate for how slow this weapon is. It's really sweet. I think you guys are gonna have a lot of fun playing this. Oh, almost forgot. This is the push attack. All the blessings for the Bone Saw, Shock and Awe, Wrath, Shred, Decimator, Decapitator. The new one, Refined Lethality, increased weak spot damage by 60% against enemies afflicted with Chem Toxin. It's really strong on this. Limb Splitter and Relentless Strike. Honestly, all of them are really good. Up to you, experiment, figure it out. I personally like Wrath and Refined Lethality because they're kind of like straightforward, simple to use, well-rounded. But any of this will do depending on your playstyle and how you build your character. The final melee weapon for Ganger. A Crowbar. I know. High technology. Technologia! Also, Crowbar. Half-Life 3 confirmed. Cool weapon. It has, again, 2 modes. I will show you the stats breakdown. You can pause it here. 4 lights, 2 heavies. So this weapon has 2 modes. This is a default one. As you can see, the crowbar is pointing towards me. So what this will do, it will switch the attack and slash moveset of this weapon. It becomes more of a cleave type of staggering weapon. Crowd control in a way, if that makes sense. So you fight against like mixed horde and especially the hordes. Now, what happens when I press special action? The crowbar points outwards, towards the enemies. And what we'll do, it will hook them. It kind of acts like a pickaxe slash the shovel for the veteran, the new ones. See, it has a second like damage dot tick. I don't know how to say this. And it's relatively fast too. There is a combo that I like to do for this weapon. You do a light, heavy, light, heavy, heavy. If you are playing melee berserker slash rampage build, under the ult, it's really powerful. It's crazy how strong that is. You switch modes. Insane stagger. Up, single target, switch modes. This is probably, I would say, my favorite weapon of all of them. It's fun to use. Tell me what you guys think once you use it. Tell me what you guys think. Push attack seems to be the same no matter how you hold it. Now I'll flip it. The blunt end. Gordon's Freeman's Blessings. Bash, Classics, Superiority, Can Opener, Opportunist, Take a Swing, Unstoppable Force, Limb Splitter, and All or Nothing. There's a lot of good ones. You can do Superiority, you can do Can Opener as well, Opportunist as well, very well, and even Unstoppable Force. So it's up to you guys to decide what you feel like. There's a plethora of choices. I don't think you can go wrong with a lot of them. And a lot of them will be very useful. Overall, a good selection of blessings. Now check these bad boys out. Dual Berettas slash Colt 911s. The sound design, the animation. Mwah. Now here for the stats, there's only one mark of it. Primary, secondary. Obviously you're not gonna kill crashes with it. The special attack is a bit weird. So what it does, it buffs the next shot after spinning your gun. It doesn't do much, but it have an effect. So this is the buffed shot. So there you go. Did it shoo? It buffs the damage, I guess, a little bit. I'm not super sure what it's supposed to be. I don't feel like it has like any relevant impact. You can use stub pistols with any build, but obviously it's gonna be the best with Desperado. Gonna make sense, right? quite sharp too as well. It's very precise. Blessings. Now, those pair of pistols have pretty good blessings, actually. You have the run and gun, really good. Hit and run, also very good. But I don't think you necessarily need it, especially when you have Desperado. Crucian Roulette, Born in Blood, Desperado, haha. Sustain Fire, Powder Burn, I really like this one. It procs all the freaking time. And it's great against range units, which you're supposed to shoot in the first place. Speed Loader, always great. Pinning Fire, I tried them, not super duper fun with this, but it will work. Terrifying Barrage, and of course, Wrecking Fire, which is pretty much useless. But overall, good blessings. The Needler Pistol. Really sci-fi, kind of like retro sci-fi looking gun. Really fun to use, actually. Has a great sound design as well. Check this out. Whoever is the sound guys or team or people at Fat Shark really know their stuff. Now, the breakdowns. There are two versions, and I'll explain the difference between these two a little bit later. So, this is the breakdown. You can pause it. I haven't noticed any difference unless I'm blind between the marks. So the main shot, as you can see, there is a little color. See right there, orange. There is two modes they can switch to between those two. I'll explain the difference. So when you're in a yellow mode, it will shoot a needle that does a shit ton of damage. It's a dot that does shit ton of damage, like a lot. It's a sniping weapon. You don't need to play Desperado any builds. Particularly, it's just one of those guns that you use to snipe specials. Doesn't matter which build you play. I would pair it with a melee or a Steam Supply build. It's really strong. Watch it on a carapace. And remember, I have no talents right now. I have no talents at all. It's insanity. You practically need only one shot to kill any special. Now, I'm not sure if it will work all the time, the one shot part, but for most parts it will. I usually do for double shots to make sure, because it depends if they're buffed or on Havoc they have different values. Now, the special attack, when you press the special button, it switches, right? So what it does now, and this is the Mark 6. It will poison the target. And when the target dies, it blows up and applies a stumble. It staggers, basically. This is the Mark 6. So you can basically pretty much shoot a horde with this. Now, the other version of this gun, this Mark 2, which I prefer personally, instead of the stagger and impact on the special attack, the blue, when a target dies, see, it applies a poison on chemicals around it when it's exploded. So theoretically, you could just chain explosion one after another, and they kind of will feed off in a way that Espiritus combustion on the Psycho does, which is very interesting. This is the Mark II, my favorite. So theoretically, use it against the Horde. Really fun weapon, sounds great, looks cool. Great against special, great against like gunners, for example. Even crusher, sometimes you just aim to clip on a crusher. Like obviously on a shooty gun build will do more damage, of course, but I don't recommend using it on a shooty build. Because it doesn't take full advantage of the Desperado like other guns do. Still a great gun to pair with a melee build or a steam supply build. Great for taking off like snipers, targets, even the crushers. The Needler pistol. Here are all the blessings. Run and gun. Hotshot. I kind of like the hotshot one. You get a ghost. You get point blank. Concentrated fire. I think if you shoot crushes a lot with this, it might be good. Desperado. Strip down. Speed loader. This might be actually better to find out. Between the Eyes and Glory Hunter. And of course, last but not least, double Uzis. Brrrah! Look at these beauties. I'll show you the profiles. On okay damage, but it has an insane amount of ammo. Breakpoints, again, not super duper great against Carapace. I mean, what you expect? Pretty okay against everything else. Close range weapon. You can either shoot it braced or normal, of course, and a special attack is a punch. Yes, very impressive. But when combined with a Desperado build like this, it becomes a pure close range insanity. Watch this. Hell yeah. This is my favorite build to play so far on the Hive Ganger, and honestly, I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I want to see how these guns perform in Havoc on like after a couple of weeks to see what actually matters on them. But so far I've been having a lot of fun in Auric and a little bit of Havocs. All the blessings for the double Uzis. Raking Fire, quite useless. Run and Gun can be used, but Powder Burn is much better in my opinion because it procs all the time, but they're both very good. They're interchangeable, up to you really. Sustained Fire, Blaze Away, really good on double Uzis. Powder Burn, Speed Loader, also pretty decent. Pinning Fire, not my favorite. Terrifying Barrage, pretty okay. It can work with Powder Burn, so to try it out, up to you. And Inspiring Barrage. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I know it's a long video, but I tried to make it as short as possible. If you like the video, give it a like, subscribe. I have probably missed a thing or two. If you didn't like the video, tell me why in the comments. If you enjoy games like Darktide, Vermintide, World War Z, Space Marine 2, Back 4 Blood, Left 4 Dead, pretty much any co-op games there are, make sure to join me on Twitch, and I'll see you when I see you.